deep in the days of darkness. The winter solstice happens the moment the Earth tilts on her axis, moving the northern hemisphere as far away from the sun as is possible. For some parts of this planet, there has been no and there will be no sunlight at all. We here in New York are plunged into darkness 16 of every 24 hours, making our mornings and our afternoons feel like night. Those periods of night aren't only long, they are dark, much darker than summer evenings when light is long and the sun is never that far off. Winter nights are dark and deep, and we have moved to the center of wintertime. Here in the city, we're always burning off the dark, lighting our streets and homes and trees and whatever else we can find. It's beautiful, but it's also limiting. I understand the desire to push away the darkness, but the dark has much to teach us. When all the lights go out, we can finally see. Our planet is spinning in a solar system of other planets within a massive galaxy of uncountable stars. I actually live pretty far outside the city, far enough away that there isn't really a lot of light. And at night, when everything is dark, we can see Mars and Venus and sometimes Jupiter and Saturn. But we need the dark to be able to see. The universe seems much smaller in the light. Rainer Maria Rilke wrote a poem called Darkness. You, darkness from whom I am born, I love you more than all the fires that block out the night. For the fire limits the world to the circle it lights up and excludes all the rest. But the darkness holds everything. Shapes and shadows, creatures and me, people and nations just as they are. It lets me imagine a great presence stirring beside me. I believe in the darkness. In the darkness, we can see things otherwise invisible to us. We can see the sky, a window into infinity. More stars than you can count from inside the Milky Way. We are both insignificant and mind-bogglingly miraculous, and the only way to see it is in the dark. The light limits us. The dark shows us everything. With the light, we can see trees and roads and buildings and rocks, but in the dark, we can see endlessness. We can see boundless universe. We can see the very embodiment of mystery, of smallness and vastness at the same time. Like the poet, I believe in the darkness. Solstice darkness not only beckons to see the universe, but also to see ourselves. In the dark, we turn our curiosity inward. We find parts of ourselves we don't see, don't explore in our own psyches, parts we don't show in the light of day. When it gets dark and quiet, we have time to consider our deepest longings, the profound questions of our souls that live in us. These are the questions we don't have time for in the busyness of day and the warmth of summer and the rush of spring. These are the questions of winter, when everything gets quiet and we can hear the voices that only speak in the dark. How can I believe in a moral universe if people and animals suffer? If the universe isn't moral, why am I? What is the meaning of my one small life? What do I owe my neighbor? What do I owe the future? Do I have the fortitude to live up to my own values? Can I survive what's next? The questions we live into, the questions we developed a long time ago that continue to pull at our legs, begging for attention, those are the questions of the dark. The dark entices those questions, coaxes them from deep within us, and nestles them so we can contemplate, sinking into our oldest yearnings and deepest dreams about who we are and who we want to be. I believe in the darkness. Sometimes the questions we find in the dark aren't old. At the end of the day, we turn off the lights and give our brains some time to relax. We can think the thoughts we didn't have the room for in the light. We process the day. We remember the sweet conversation or remind ourselves about the plot of that book we just started, or make lists of things to be done so when we wake we're ready. We need the lights to go out so we can focus. All of the many words from the day can sink and settle. All of the images can sort and organize. All the ideas can sway and dance as they untangle and lay themselves gently on our mind's floor to be picked up again tomorrow. The dark is spacious and soft and welcoming. I believe in the darkness. We are fond in this country of aligning dark with bad and light with good. This can translate this common metaphor into the idea that people with light skin are good and those with dark skin are bad. Even if that's not what we mean, it is the reality of racism in this country. If we weren't so quick to forgive white people and punish black people, I would have no need to bring this up, but here we are. This is the language I do everything I can to avoid, which actually is not easy. We've embedded it in our culture very well. Webster's dictionary offers the first definition of dark as the absence of light, but the second definition is evil, which is actually a metaphor. It's not a definition. Sometimes metaphors implant so deeply we can't even see them as symbolic and instead accept them as real and definitive. Dark is not sinister or dangerous. Dark is thick with meaning, holding all the potential, deep with possibility, heavy with experience and complexity. Dark is creative. The precursor to seeing everything. It is the womb of imagination, the place of dreams. I believe in the darkness. Seeds are planted in the dark. In the darkness beneath the surface, nestled in the soft black soil, they sprout, they grow, they stretch, they break through, alive and thriving. If the roots come up, they burn, they dry, they die. So they stay where they're safe, enrobed in moist, nutritious earth, where they are protected and fed, and from where they feed a grapevine or pumpkin patch or maybe an oak tree. That's how humans grow too, deep in a woman's body, planted in her womb, being fed and protected and accommodated through love and intention. There's safety in the dark. There's creation in the dark. Life comes from the dark. And I believe in the darkness. The Winter Solstice celebration is ancient, even more than Christmas or Hanukkah. For thousands of years, people have gathered on the longest night, marking what feels like the stillness of the sun as it is suspended low in the sky. They call to dark king and watch for great Mother Earth to birth infant light, to keep time moving. They will acknowledge the stillness that comes before the motion, the necessity of the womb where new life waits. They wait through this longest, darkest night, gathered around fires, praying in gratitude for the winter and for the coming spring, because both exist. The sun hasn't disappeared, it's just out of sight. We live in perfect balance, and this turning is a reminder that the dark is a gift and will soon give way to the light. They are both here. Winter turns to spring, turns to summer when the days are long, and then they turn and the dark moves slowly back. Both the light and the dark always exist, and I believe in the darkness. There is beauty in the dark, and dreams, mystery, welcome, creativity. There's sex and birth and imagination. In the dark, it's harder to tell where you and I end, where the boundaries of things are or are supposed to be. In the dark, we can be closer to each other than in the light. There's comfort in our nearness. We can feel each other breathe. If we listen carefully, listen with our skin, we can hear all earth breathing, inhaling, exhaling, holding breath, waiting. Adrienne Marie Brown wrote this love letter to the darkness for solstice. Darkness, everyone lies about you, painting your face on tragedy. In the folds of the dark, I find room for my dreams. I learn to swallow light. I forget to be separate. I listen to my life. I steal away home. I learn the tongue of skins. I fall in love with the neighbor child wailing in the not yet morning. In the infinite dark, I feel ancient again. A kiss full of hibernation, a wilderness brushing back my fingers, a fist full of bravado, a fertile world welcome. Darkness, in this pale time, we need all of the complexity you call breath. The longest night is here. The darkest days have settled in. Embracing the cycle, the season, the turning, I am grateful for the winter solstice. And I hope, like you, I believe in the darkness.